2 minutes each.
Yes, let's go.
The challenge is very simple. Prove that Mecca existed.
No. The problem. Is a problem.
Ready?
So, the
Sure.
first house is the first temple in Jerusalem. No, in Mecca.
Should we?
So
okay,
you're a problem, Siraj.
You're ready right now?
Again,
Okay, let's start. Okay, I'm starting my dear friends right now. The challenge is very simply that Islam is a fantasy idea, and I'm going to give you one example. It depends on this place called Mecca being the hometown of the supposed person called Muhammad. The problem is, when we go with archaeology, the city called Mecca seemed not to have even existed in the 7th century. Evidence number one, thousands of rock inscriptions, almost nothing in what is today's Mecca. Archaeology defies the existence of Mecca in the 7th century. Now, my dear Siraj is going to read Psalm 184. No. Psalm 18:4. No. I don't know what he is going to read. But when he reads, he is going to just refer to the name Becca, which occurs in the Bible, which is a place near where the temple concerning the Jews is, which is Jerusalem. Becca is a valley near Jerusalem. Just because the name sounds similar to what shows up in the Quran, he is going to pretend by just showing the word Becca in the Bible, his Mecca could begin to exist. Unlike his wishful thinking, unfortunately, archaeology clearly tells us Mecca of Islam did not exist. Now, if Siraj has to prove that Mecca of Islam existed, he has to pinpoint to a place called Mecca in Arabia. Not just float with a word which sounds similar, but Mecca in Arabia.
So the 2 minutes. So I already answered. Simple. Wait.
Maybe we'll start.
Wait. Wait. Let him finish. Oh, start.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's go. So now, let's go to the game of Christians.
Okay.
Christians, they want history, but what history? According to who? According to Jews? According to Hindu? According to Buddhists? According to Sikhism, according to atheists, according to Christians, according to Muslims. What history? So they're playing two cards. So according to the history of Jews, there is no resurrection of Jesus. According to Muslims, there is no resurrection of Jesus. So according to him, that destroys the resurrection of Jesus. So he said, show me the existence of Mecca. According to who? According to Christians, not according to others, okay? Agree that? So now here, Ishmael, we know who is the father of Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is one of the offspring of Prophet Ishmael. And Ishmael's father is Abraham. We know that one. So Prophet Muhammad told us, Sahih Muslim, chapter 20 and Hadith number 2276. In the book of Genesis chapter 25 verse 13. In Genesis chapter 17 verse 20, all it tells us that the offspring of Prophet Ishmael, one of them is Canaan. And Canaan in the Quran, in the Hadith, is one of the fathers of the Quraysh tribe, Prophet's tribe. So now we find where Hajar used to live, where in Mecca desert. In the Bible even it says desert. We know that one is very clear. So now he's asking, show me an evidence the existence of Mecca, that Mecca existed according to Christians' history, not according to others' history. So now, example, as I give many examples, and I said Mecca, another name for Mecca is Becca. He said Becca is a valley in Jerusalem. I want an evidence from the Bible.
Time's up.
Did you hear what I said?
Excuse me,
challenging you.
Thank you very much.
I want Becca that is in Jerusalem.
Thank you very much.
Show me that one.
Thank you very much.
Go on. If you can't answer, I'm walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, we're trying to play hockey and this clown shows up and he wants to play football. Note carefully the challenge. I asked him to establish that Mecca existed as a city by using archaeology or any other evidence he can use. What has he done? He has shown from his own fantasy stories, the Quran and the Hadiths and more Hadiths and more Hadiths, more fantasies to claim the existence of Mecca. Now, I'll concede, if you want to depend on your Mickey Mouse fantasy Islam, of course Mecca would exist. My point is, what does evidence tell us? Evidence is very clear. Archaeology tells us Mecca could not have existed in the 7th century. I gave you one evidence already. Several thousand rock inscriptions across Arabia, almost nothing near what is today known as Mecca and Taif. Almost nothing. I'll give you another example. Nabonidus is a Babylonian emperor who is very fond of Arabian worship, who visits the Arabian Peninsula, and what we find through his conquest history is that he comes into Arabian Peninsula but does not care about this place called Mecca. And all historians conclude that the city simply did not exist. I'll give you one more evidence if you want. There is no historical artifact at all before the time of fantasy Islam talking about the city called Mecca. Simply doesn't exist. Siraj, leave your fantasy, give us evidence. Evidence for Mecca in Arabia.
Now Arul, as he always talks like Tom and Jerry. You know Tom and Jerry always doesn't rest. Blah, 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 blah. I've been asking him evidence for how long? He said the valley of Becca is in Jerusalem. I asked him to show me an evidence. Again now he's refuting the existence of Mecca by using some random guys who he believes they were Christians or whatever, they used to worship whatever. So now history according to who again? According to Christians. Not according to who? Jews. Not according to atheists. Not according to Buddhists. Not according to Sikhism. According to history, according to who? Him. So according to his logic, the resurrection of Jesus is fake and false. Yeah. You know why? Because Jews back in the days existed before Christians. They know the resurrection of Jesus is false. The history according to Jews, history says what? Jesus was never resurrected. According to him, the resurrection of Jesus is false because he based the existence of Mecca because of what? Only in Quran and in the Hadith. But we cannot show him according to Christians' history. Therefore, Mecca doesn't exist. Why? Because it's not found in Christianity history. So same, the resurrection is not found in history of Muslims and Jews. Therefore, Jesus' resurrection is false. Show me, prove me that one. Otherwise, blah, 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 blah. It's like you never slept for 2 years in your lifetime. So now my challenge to them, Christians, after I answered all these weak questions, and he's using it still in history. History according to what context?
Yeah.
According to him. Is it history according to international history? Is that international? No. So history, when it suits him, yes, we accept. When this doesn't suit him, Jews against them about the resurrection? No. According to Christians' history, Jesus was revived. My challenge to you now, who told Jesus, Mary Magdalene,
Enough. 2
he
minutes.
came out
2
from the
minutes.
grave is
Excuse
alive?
me. 2 minutes.
2 angels.
Siraj, 2 minutes.
1 man.
2 minutes.
In a
Thank you
vision.
very much.
Or
Thank you.
or
Thank
Jesus
you.
himself appeared
Thank
to Mary.
you.
Answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Answer.
Thank you very much.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right. Let's start again.
Okay, go.
If you had noted Siraj's face,
Pause for him one time. If you don't answer what I said, I'm walking.
well,
Because
you
don't have
can
to
walk.
talk.
You can do anything you
Blah,
want.
blah, blah.
Who
What did I ask
cares?
you?
You haven't engaged
What
with the
did I ask-
debate so
wait,
far.
wait. What did I ask you to provide?
You haven't engaged with the
No.
debate so far,
Even he's
so
not-
I won't be surprised that if you
help your
wanted to
friend?
walk away,
Wait,
you
wait.
do that
Run.
now.
Help your friend. No, what did I ask him? Tell him.
Can we start
He said-
again?
He said wait.
Excuse me.
He said
Let's start
wait.
again.
Yeah. No, he said wait. He's
Okay,
fixing the camera.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, now what did I ask you? I want an evidence.
You asked me where the nearest loo is.
No,
That's
I
what you
want
asked
an
me.
evidence
Now let me get on with
where
my turn.
The Valley of Becca in Jerusalem existed that time.
Sharika, excuse me. Hey, wow.
I'm asking.
Excuse me. Wow. Thank you.
Okay, you ready? Go.
All right. For anyone who watched Siraj carefully, you can see that he has utter contempt towards history. You know why?
Why?
Because he believes in fantasy ideas. When you believe in fantasy ideas, you will not like history. And therefore, anything to do with history, you will fail, you will be scared. No wonder he did not pursue his secular education and he wants to become an imam. Because that suits his fantasy worldview. Now, evidence. I gave you a few already. Rock inscriptions. Nabonidus conquers details. Third one, I can't remember what I gave. But the point is, archaeological, no reference in any historical artifact pre-Islam to the city called Mecca. Just doesn't exist. I gave you evidence. What did he give? He was just complaining that he doesn't like history. Now let's come to the only reference he quoted, which is the Bible. Now, he said it's a Christian version of events, that Becca in the Bible is his Mecca, is his fantasy Mecca. My dear friends, ask anyone who is knowledgeable remotely in history. Where does the temple of the Jews is located? In Jerusalem. No fool who is worth his salt would deny this idea. Unless, of course, your name begins with an S, perhaps. The point is very simple. The temple in Jerusalem, the temple for the Jews, Jewish history is in Jerusalem. Valley of Becca, which is referred to in the book of Psalm, is on the way to Zion, the temple in Jerusalem. In other words, my point is, Siraj is left clueless. Give me evidence for Mecca in Arabia.
Okay, I give him another time. What? 30 seconds. Give him 30 seconds. I want him to show me the name of Valley of Becca existed that time in the city of Jerusalem. Accept that challenge. If you can't,
Please.
and also the second challenge for him, the guys who is quoting the history who wrote that Mecca doesn't
Are you speaking
exist.
in your time? What's
I'm
going
asking-
on?
No, I'm asking you.
Did you
I'm
want to
giving
take your time?
I'm asking you. See, you didn't answer my questions.
Sure. Did you
I'm
want to
giving
take your time?
No, I don't.
You don't want to take your time?
No, I want to ask.
So can you see what happened, my dear
I'm
friends?
asking you. Wait,
Okay, can
listen,
I
I'm
can I
asking
start?
you. So my two questions is, show me that Valley of Becca existed that time in Jerusalem. Number one, from the Bible. Number two, I want the guys you mentioned in that the Mecca does not exist and they never mentioned what religion did they practice. Show me those guys you mentioned.
Okay.
Who is their name? One of them?
Excuse me,
Say
you're speaking
say
for
the
much
names.
longer than 2 minutes maybe.
So the names.
Am I speaking
the
right now?
guys you say
When are you
want
planning to
their
stop?
background and their religion.
When are you planning
Show
to
me.
stop?
I'm
When are you
listening.
planning to stop?
So give him another 2 minutes. If you can't mention them, I believe those guys you mentioned
Brother
are
Greg.
Christians. So if you can't provide evidence,
When are you planning to stop?
Blah blah blah. Like
When
Tom
are you
and
planning
Jerry.
to stop?
No, go on.
Good.
Give
Thank
him
you.
Another 2
So,
minutes.
as you can see, my dear friends, evidence for Mecca in Arabia, he could not produce. Did you see that? No evidence provided so far. In contrast, the only other thing he has done is to concede by saying that he has nothing more to add.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even want to use his turn. Why? Because he has nothing
Because
to
you
contribute.
claim- I want you
Excuse
to
me, sir.
refute-
Please stop the time, Brother Greg.
Support your
Excuse
claim
me,
with
sir.
evidence.
Excuse me, sir.
on.
Maybe you don't know the rules of the game.
want
We are not playing football here. We are playing
I
hockey.
want answers.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I know what you want, which is some help. Help with some history. That's what you want. Now, can I start? But when I start, will you stay quiet?
2 minutes if you can't answer.
Will you
I'm
stay
walking.
quiet? You can walk already if you want.
Go on.
Can you stop?
2 minutes. Give him 2 minutes.
But can you?
Blah blah blah. Give him 2 more minutes. Start again for him now. Start for him.
Siraj, the other day failed miserably. I asked him a couple of weeks ago, there was a debate. Show me a sign in the Quran. He almost cried at the end of the debate. And he cried for 2 more weeks. He came and hassled me for 2 more weeks. That's how much he felt his defeat. And it is happening again, my dear friends. Note carefully, the topic of discussion today is to provide evidence for the Mecca in Arabia for its existence before Islam. I cited at least 3 evidence points. Rock inscriptions, Nabonidus' conquest history, and the fact that no historical artifact pre-Islam mentions Mecca in Arabia. 3 evidence points. What has he done? Nothing. Nothing apart from saying, I can speak more, which is good in one manner. At least he agrees he has nothing informative to communicate to you. Valley of Becca is on the way to Zion, the temple in Jerusalem, which anyone worth his salt would not even be thinking is in Arabia. Only a Muslim, if he is confused, deluded and follows fantasy ideas, he would do it. Now, no wonder Siraj does it, because to keep up his career, he is a bad comedian, bad theologian, and so to earn his daily living, he has to somehow say Islam is true. Mickey Mouse ideas, fantasy ideas. Let me ask again, Siraj, before you run away, scared, admitting your defeat, one last chance. Do you have any evidence for the existence of a Mecca pre-Islam in Arabia?
Okay, so now I ask him two minutes for me, yeah? And I'm going conclusion now. So I asked him 2 questions. I asked him to show me the Valley of Becca. It's in the city of Jerusalem. No evidence until now. He said rock and scripture. Is rock scripture a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jew? He did not identify. Number 2. Number 3, I asked him historical according to who? Christians, here in international history, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, the Sikhism, and Hindu, according to who history? Now he said history, yes. Ask Jews now about the existence of Mecca back in the days, Prophet's time, pre-Islamic. Who kicked the Jews, the city, from the city of Medina? Who kicked them? The Battle of Khaybar. Who? Every Christians know this.
More fantasy.
They quote Christians. They
More
quote
fantasy.
They say, wait, I didn't finish.
lie.
And Jews themselves
You
know
can lie.
they existed and used to live in the city of Mecca and Medina. So you can ask any Jewish scholar, they will tell you. So history according to Jews, Mecca existed. According to Christians, it doesn't exist. Do I want his history? Even history, the Bible, the crucifixion is wrong. Jesus, who told Mary Magdalene that Jesus is alive after the resurrection, he came out, an angel. Another verse, 2 angels. Another verse, 2 men. Another verse, 1 man. Another verse in a vision. Another verse in person. Another verse, no angel told Mary Magdalene, but Jesus himself. Can I give you the references? John chapter 20, verse 1 to 6. Again, Matthew chapter 28, verse 1 to 6. Luke chapter 24, verse 1 to 11. Mark chapter 16, verse 11. Verse 1 to 11. So now history is proven wrong. History according to Christians. He failed to show me an evidence now from the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament. Blah, 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 blah. He failed. Prove those guys were not Christians.
Did you see what happened, my dear friends? Oh, are you running now? When are you trying to give any evidence?
I'm trying to pray. You didn't
Any
give
evidence?
an answer.
Any
You didn't
evidence?
give an answer. I gave
Maybe
you an
next
answer
week.
from the Quran,
Maybe
from
next
the Old
week.
Testament, and I give you
Maybe
history from the Jews
next
and
week you
Muslims.
can bring
But
evidence.
you, according to Jesus' history, Jesus was never resurrected. According to Muslims, Jesus was never resurrected. According to your logic,
maybe
Jesus
next
was
week.
never resurrected
Maybe next week.
because it's not in history.
Siraj, maybe
According
next
to
week.
Jews and Muslims.
Maybe next week you can bring
No
evidence.
challenge. The guys
Evidence.
you mentioned and wrote
Evidence.
scripture. Was he a Christian?
Evidence.
Was he a Christian? Yes.
Do you understand the word
Only
evidence?
Christians reject. No.
Do you understand the word evidence?
So goodbye.
Evidence.
I'm going to pray. And
Do you understand the word evidence? Evidence. 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 So, my dear friends, note carefully that the word evidence is not in. Hey, Siraj, you need to go for prayer. Please don't work. Hey, excuse me, Siraj. You're still here. Any evidence, Siraj? Siraj, any evidence for Mecca's existence pre-Islam in Arabia? Any evidence?
I am Messiah.
Next week, maybe better. Maybe next week you'll come prepared. Please, please, please pray. Please ask your Islamic Allah to help you. Hey, Siraj. When you,
Come back after praying.
no. He needs to pray to get evidence right now. Islamic Allah, please help me. Give me some evidence, please.